Love. everyone. Welcome to Unity Spiritual Community in Citrus Heights, and we would like you to stand and join us in singing our opening song. Let there be peace. I have a stand for peace. Let there be love. I have a stand for love. Let there be joy.
Welcome to Unity Spiritual Community, where all people are welcome and where differences are celebrated as the splendor of God's creative expression. Hear ye, hear ye, hear ye. Just breathe into it. So let's set the tone by sharing our vision and mission statements. We begin with our vision statement together. Light-filled, heart-centered, spirit-led. Unity Spiritual Community prepares the way for the awakened human. And our mission statement. We are a visionary community, offering sanctuary, celebration, enlightenment, and inclusivity for all who seek spiritual awareness. And we know that our words have power and that our voice makes an imprint upon the very energy of the atmosphere around it. So we have impressed this building and all the air in it with our vision and our mission. And we send it out into the universe declaring it is so and it is true. Thank you, God. Amen.
Now, in preparations for a time of meditation, will you please join me in singing In the Garden?
Voice I hear, calling on my
begin this time of meditation with several deep cleansing breaths. So allow your belly to soften and expand as you inhale. And as you exhale, just sigh out any tension or stress, any preoccupying thoughts. And then let's do it again. We breathe in. We have that soft belly that the Buddhists talk about. When you have a soft belly, it means that you aren't afraid, that you're not protecting yourself from your perceived enemies. And then just sigh out. On the exhalation, release anything that distracts you from this sacred moment, from this time, from this place. On this day, we release our limitations. We let go of thoughts that we are less than, beliefs in lack or unworthiness. We sweep away all the times that we were told we weren't good enough or smart enough or strong enough. For we are enough in every way. We allow layer after layer of our false identities to peel effortlessly away. We have no need to assume modesty or stoicism. We release the belief that we can ever be victims or that the universe is random. We turn away from the outer world, the illusion that has been created by our false beliefs. And we rest in the heart of ourselves, our strong hearts, our pure hearts, our light hearts. In this place of peace, we know the truth, that we have never been separate from God, that our true nature is light, that we came to earth with intention, that love is the greatest force in the universe. So breathe again. And listen to these famous words from the poet William Wordsworth. Our birth is but a sleep and a forgetting. The soul that rises with us, our life star, hath had elsewhere its setting and cometh from afar. Not in entire forgetfulness and not in utter nakedness, but trailing clouds of glory do we come from God, who is our home. Heaven lies about us in our infancy. And we allow these words to carry us into the silence. Sweet loving Spirit, we pray knowing that we are your beloved. We ask to release all that blocks us from awakening to the truth, that we are each indispensable, infinitely valuable, and loved beyond measure. And so it is.
Oh, Spirit, flood me, deep inside me. Take me to my heart place, the place of ease and grace. Breathe in this moment.
Today we're discussing ideas from the book The Storm Before the Calm by Neale Donald Walsch. Neale Donald Walsch is best known for the series Conversations with God. He has written a couple of other series, good ones. We've had other talks based on his books in the past. The subtitle of this book is A New Human Manifesto. And I wanted to look at that phrase, new human, because new human manifesto can mean more than one thing. It depends on where you split it. Is it a new human manifesto, or is it a new human manifesto? I think it's the latter, because this is what is up in our age. It is our evolution into being new humans, a different order of being for us. You know, things have changed since 2012. When I'm with my girlfriends, basically all of whom are Unity ministers, we talk about the light, that there's a different quality in the light. There seems to be more of it. It seems like our lives are charmed. There's more synchronicities, more blessings. It seems that there are faster responses to our prayers. And it seems to me like we were waiting to exhale until we successfully passed that landmark year of 2012 and could believe that we were going to be successful in realizing the new heaven and the new earth. There may also be more darkness in the world, both natural and human-made disasters. But understand this, we are experiencing the storm before the calm. The human race has reached the tipping point, and we are approaching our destiny and fulfilling this evolutionary leap into new humans. So in order to clear away the negativity that remains in race mind is a term that Unity's co-founder Charles Fillmore used. Carl Jung used the collective unconscious. I think they mean about the same thing. But in order to clear away the remaining negativity, we are manifesting it so that we can recognize it and heal it. I had a psychologist when I was in ministerial school, and he used to put it this way: name it, claim it, tame it. And so as we struggle with the crises in our financial and healthcare systems, as we continue to sink billions of dollars into war, and as we see our prisons overflowing, attention must finally be drawn to the underlying cause, which is our definition of life itself. These social challenges faithfully mirror the way we see ourselves, the way we see others, and the way we see God. This is not the first time in the history of the world when we were poised for an evolutionary leap, when we awoke from the slumber of stagnation and lack and of victimhood and repression and made evolutionary leaps into the next order of being. I got to tell you a story. I went to a talk that Jean Houston gave. How many people know who Jean Houston is? She is of the rank and order of Carolyn Mace and Barbara Marx Hubbard. She is a prophet of our time. The talk was at Unity Temple on the Plaza in Kansas City, and that is a beautiful old building. I was sitting in the balcony. Now, Jean Houston was talking about her book, Jump Time. And we're talking about evolutionary leaps. She coined jump time. And then She asked us all to stand up and begin jumping. I was in the balcony. This was an old building. I wanted to say, no, please, no. Anyhow, no one was harmed in the making of that event. Now, the hallmark of each of these ages, which are called axial ages, I'll get back to that term, is that they have been made by people we can call conscious evolutionaries. Men and women who were aware of the big picture and helped us as a race fulfill that big picture. And when you use the term axial age, think of the word axis. Think of the axis in a wheel, which enables the wheel to keep on moving forward. So an axial age is one in which we are really moving forward. The first axial age occurred from 800 BCE to 200 BCE. BCE means before Common Era. We used to just call it BC, but then they decided that wasn't politically correct. This first axial age was the age of Socrates and Plato and Buddha and Confucius and Jesus and Muhammad. And each of these people were a founder or a central influence in a religious or philosophical movement that has shaped the course of world history and has an influence on the world unto this day. Big influence. The Enlightenment can be considered the second axial age. The Enlightenment was from 1650 CE to 1800 CE. CE stands for Common Era. We used to call it AD, but now we're politically correct. The Enlightenment was an age of thinkers and artists and mystics. William Wordsworth, Beethoven, Mozart, Immanuel Kant, Goethe, Isaac Newton, William Blake, Thomas Jefferson, Benjamin Franklin. These were the conscious evolutionaries of this age. It was the age of the American and French revolutions. It was the age of our Declaration of Independence. Now think about that. The Declaration of Independence was a new human manifesto. And then I'm going to include the New Thought axial age because unity is part of the New Thought movement. And we would date this from around 1840 to 1900 CE. And it included Charles and Myrtle Fillmore, Ernest Holmes, Emma Curtis Hopkins. It included the Transcendentalists, Ralph Waldo Emerson, Walt Whitman, Henry David Thoreau, best known among these, and the pioneers of modern psychology, Sigmund Freud and Carl Jung, William James. It is on the shoulders of these giants that we stand today as we are, as we define ourselves. And we may be the shoulders upon which future generations stand. And if you consider the spiritual teachers of our time, we have some great teachers. Neale Donald Walsch, Deepak Chopra, Barbara Marx Hubbard, Greg Braden, the Dalai Lama, the list goes on and on and on. We are the crossover generation. And perhaps in the future, this will be recognized as the greatest axial age of all. Barbara Marx Hubbard, this was a few years ago, said that our generation had reached the choice point. I believe that we made our choice, and we're now at the tipping point. Our choice led us to the place in history in which that change is coming. With our modern technology and the ease of instant global communication, we can no longer keep our heads in the sand, focusing on our own one small life, and perhaps holding a vague hope that others will take the lead in guiding our race through this present evolutionary leap. When we make that leap, we'll no longer be Homo sapiens. I've heard various terms for what we are evolving into. Homo noeticus for the new human, Homo universalis for the universal human, and my personal favorite, Homo galacticus for the galactic human. There is something afoot, and the jungle drums have been beating out the message of this new order of being. Now, Barbara Marx Hubbard shared this important concept. Crises precede transformation, and problems are evolutionary drivers. She was saying the same thing that Neale Donald Walsch describes as the storm before the calm. It is recognized by the evolutionary consciousnesses in our age. It is true in our society. It is true in our church. It is true in our personal lives. Our lives are intimately connected to the whole, and we are living a much bigger story than we think we are. I have had in my mind a talk brewing, bubbling up from the depths of being about this big picture, and about if we do consider our role in the big picture, we no longer can think that it's a coincidence we're here. And it changes the way we make all our decisions and the way we define ourselves and others. And the main difference today is the awareness that we have, our ability for conscious evolution. A large part of that is the communication, the internet, the way we can have a global conversation about it. Now, in his book, The Storm Before the Calm, Neale Donald Walsch proposes that we engage in a conversation, this could be a global conversation, based on several questions. I'm going to share 3 of those questions. The first, how is it possible that 6.9 billion people can all claim to want the same thing? Peace and security, opportunity, prosperity, happiness, love, and be singularly unable to get it. Is it possible that there is something we do not fully understand about life, the understanding of which would change everything? And the third question, is it possible that there is something we do not fully understand about ourselves, about our own life and its purpose, the understanding of which would shift our reality and alter our experience for the better forever? You know, I can give you a one-word solution that Neale Donald Walsch writes books and books and books and books about. That one word is unity. You know, wherever I go, there I end up. And I go really far out. I mean, when you talk about the spectrum of unity ministers, I am right down here in Airy Fairyville, including the fairies I'm entertaining in my backyard at this moment. And everywhere I go, I find Charles Fillmore beat me to it. The longer I am in unity, the more awed I am by the founders and what they knew. And the more I wonder how they knew it. So the questions that Walsch proposes will lead us into a deeper understanding of our definition of life, of self, of others, of God, so that we can learn what we really are. And to know that God created each one of us specifically, intentionally. We were chosen and we chose. We chose our purpose in being in this society at this time and on this planet. So know that if you were not going to make a difference, you would not be here. We came to work. And how do we make that difference? By stepping forward to serve. By sharing our gifts with the greater cause. By participating in conversations about questions like those that Walsch proposes. I'm just wondering if I want to tell you this particular story. I read in a book, information from Cryon, Kryon. And Cryon says, is it any wonder that we love human beings? Because you're always ready to work. And when we approach human beings, what they ask us is, okay, what's next? What do we need to do next? It reminds me of those movies where they're always rounding up the old codgers and sending them into space to save the Earth. Usually Billy Bob Thornton and Tommy Lee Jones. And it's like these people know how to get it done, get her done. And I think that's it. I think that's why we were born at this time, is we have that ability and we have that motivation to get her done. We're the go-to people. So I wanted to close with a poem by M. Clare. I think it's Emily Clare, E.M. Clare. We are light babies, golden grace, wings meant to fly. We are delicate and pregnant with goodness. We are each made of such a quiet that the entire universe can hear us. There is only the unfolding, the opening ever happening. All else are thoughts, lollipops for the mind. We are light babies, parading as humankind. And thus ends the lesson. God bless you.
I got no complaints whatsoever. I got no complaints whatsoever. I got no complaints whatsoever. And a new day is dawning in my soul. I got no complaints whatsoever. I got no complaints whatsoever. I got no complaints whatsoever. And a new day is dawning
going to invite our ushers to come forward as we prepare for our love offering. And let's join together in Unity's prosperity prayer. Together. Divine love flowing through me blesses and multiplies all that I am, all that I have, all that I choose to give, and all that I am open to receive. And as our ushers come forward, we join in singing, God will make of us spiritual giants. Ta-da.
Let's sing it all together first, so we all have God will make us spiritual giants. God will make us spiritual giants. Can you feel the power moving? Can you feel the power moving? Now is the acceptable time. Now is the acceptable time. God will make us spiritual giants. God will make us spiritual giants. Can you feel the power moving? Can you feel the power moving? Now is the acceptable time. Now is the acceptable time. God will make us spiritual giants. 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 Can you feel the power moving? Can you feel the power moving? Now is the acceptable times. Now is the acceptable times. God will make us spiritual giants. God will make us spiritual giants. Can you feel the power moving? Can you feel the power moving? Now is the acceptable times. Now is the acceptable time.
Now I get why people do rounds. So as our ushers come forward, we'll prepare to bless this love offering. So together, Unity Spiritual Community is a center of the Christ love, mighty to attract good and to radiate good to others. And so it is, amen. Okay, let's circle up and sing our closing song.